From Charleston, South Carolina, with her reaction to the GOP debate is Florida Congresswoman and DNC Chairwoman Debbie Wasserman-Schultz. Good morning to you, Madam Chairman.
Good morning to you both. Thank you.
Listen, I'd like to start with the very first question from CNN last night. There are a lot of people who feel that it shows media bias because at a presidential debate, they would never start a debate out with Democrats, for instance, talking about their personal life. Do you think that question was over the line?
You know, I think it's over the line to suggest that there is a partisan tilt to a question from a network
I've never heard questions like that during Democrat debates.
Like John Edwards and all the rumors that were swirling around him?
Look, I think that the focus of that debate rightly ultimately was on the fact that Mitt Romney has hung his entire candidacy on his role in the private sector, which was as a corporate raider, which was as someone whose job it was to outsource other people's jobs to other countries, to deliberately bankrupt companies, to dismantle companies and devastate communities.
I believe that was the Bain Capital mantra. We're here to raid and bankrupt companies. Now, and Bain is so bad, the Officer of Management and Budget now is a director from Bain, correct?
In the name of making money for their investors, which is okay. But, you know, Mitt Romney just needs to come clean and say that that's what he did. Instead, he is masking what he did and trying to, I mean, on any given day, he claims another number for the number of jobs he supposedly created.
I understand.
No substantiation, nothing to back it up.
Right. Congresswoman,
he's got to come clean.
I don't know if you've had
a
chance to watch all the debates because I know how busy you are, but I will say that Mitt Romney has gone through great lengths to describe everything from the steel companies that he's done to work with, to Pizza Hut, to, Domino's Pizza, to Staples, to Sports Authority. But I think it's also important to bring up, if Bain is so bad, why did the president choose someone from Bain to work to be his new OMB?
Look, I know that this is the apples and oranges network, but at the end of the day, Mitt Romney is hanging his entire candidacy.
We're talking about Bain. We can't talk about Bain and Bain. There's no apples and oranges.
No. See, because the OMB director isn't hanging his record on his time
but he got a great job in an administration that condemns another guy.
Come on, you're going to ask me a question. You got to let me answer it. Please let me answer the question. Mitt Romney has said that we should judge him by his role in the private sector, that he has 25 years of experience in the private sector. Well, when looking closely at that experience, what his role at Bain was to, as his partner specifically said, that he never thought of their job as being job creators. Their role was to make money for their investors, which was done by dismantling companies, by deliberately bankrupting, by offshoring jobs to other countries.
Do you understand that investors or stock
right here in South Carolina.
Okay.
Right here in South Carolina they did that. Bain Capital came in and devastated a community by forcing a company into bankruptcy and making sure that they could make a profit. Okay. That's what he did, and that's the contrast between
that
President
one company
Obama
represents
and
a
what he's been fighting
career.
for.
Go ahead.
Well, there's more. If there were just one, it wouldn't be enough.
70% of his companies that he took over, failing companies, were successful. But let's move on.
Chairwoman, let me just ask you about this.
Glad to move on.
I would think you would love Bain because, according to some of the stats we've seen, apparently Bain employees, a lot of executives, have actually given your party, the Democrats, lots more money than they've given the Republicans. They've given the Democrats $1.2 million, Republicans about $500,000.
And what's your question?
Well, I would think that, you know, you can see right there that the people at Bain feel positively about the Democrats. So how do you attack Bain
President Obama
for opening up their wallets to you guys?
Remember when President Obama first ran for president? What he said, he hung his candidacy, and the reason that people should elect him is because he started his public life as a community organizer. Both Mitt Romney and Barack Obama went to Harvard. Mitt Romney decided to make sure that his life was spent making himself and other people a tremendous amount of money. And that's fine. But he just needs to be honest about that.
All right, let's hear him.
What Barack Obama did was he spent his career fighting for the middle class, fighting for working families, and trying to help make other people's lives better.
And last night,
one in a series of dramatic contrasts between the two choices.
He was asked that question last night, and here's his answer.
The challenge in America is not people who have been successful. The challenge in America, and President Obama doesn't want to talk about this, is you got a president who's played 90 rounds of golf while there are 25 million Americans out of work. And you've got, and while the price of gasoline has doubled, he said no to the Keystone Pipeline. And while we've got $15 trillion of debt, he said, look, I'm going to put another $1 trillion of debt for Obamacare.
There are a lot of people who are disappointed that he didn't greenlight the Keystone Pipeline, regardless of whether it's 20,000 jobs or even it's 1,000 jobs. We're talking about jobs, and that's something we really need right now.
President Obama has taken an economy that was bleeding 750,000 jobs a month, thanks to Republican policies. And for the last 3 years, he's brought us to the point where now we've had 22 straight months of job growth in the private sector, more than 3 million jobs created, a resurgence in the manufacturing industry, rescued the American automobile industry while Mitt Romney would have let it go bankrupt. In fact, while Mitt Romney was investing in the Caymans, President Obama was investing in the American automobile industry, and now GM is once again the largest automobile maker in the world.
Right.
That's the contrast. It'll be a consistent contrast throughout this campaign.
And you laid it out perfectly when you said it's going to be a community organizer against somebody who spent 25 years in the private sector.
Someone fighting for the middle class and working families, someone fighting to make other people more money who are already doing well.
I look forward to seeing you and talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Me too. Thank you.